Prior to GTA San Andreas, bodies of water were little more than lethal obstacles, which acted as boundaries to prevent players from reaching locked areas. In Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 2, the player is instantaneously wasted when they fall into water, regardless of whether or not they are in a vehicle. In Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto Vice City, falling or wading into deep water is still potentially lethal, as the protagonist will rapidly lose health if they wade more than chest deep into water. Grand Theft Auto 5 includes an improvement in the diving feature introduced in San Andreas. The game includes a form of underwater diving known as scuba diving, which includes a full set of scuba gear as well as a much more detailed oceanic environment. In GTA San Andreas, most pedestrians will instantly drown if they fall into water. However, allies following the player, such as recruited Grove Street members, will swim alongside CJ. In GTA Vice City stories, most pedestrians who fall into water will stay in a stationary position without swimming. In GTA 4, pedestrians will drown if they spend too much time in the water. The steering animations in the GTA series have evolved gradually. In the 3D universe, the protagonist would only turn the wheel slightly, whereas GTA 4 protagonists demonstrate a proper hand-over-hand steering technique, turning the wheel around fully. GTA 5 steering is a step back from 4, the protagonists only perform one rotation of the wheel. Other minor details include the protagonist looking in the rearview mirror when the player presses the corresponding rear view button, being able to switch the engine off when exiting a vehicle in GTA 4, and how Carl Johnson starts steering with one hand on the wheel after the player acquires enough driving skill, compared to how CJ steers with both hands during the beginning. CJ will still steer sportier vehicles such as the Turismo with both hands regardless of the driving skill stat. Michael and Franklin will seem to have a mad expression on their face when the player is driving faster than normal. In the enhanced version of GTA 5, the protagonist can duck while driving in first person. Strangely, despite a screenshot advertising the new feature showing a GTA Online player ducking in a boat, ducking cannot be performed in them. Until Grand Theft Auto 3, standard pedestrians were often deprived of details, and as such, few distinctions were made in where certain pedestrians appear and their appearances. From Grand Theft Auto 2 onwards, attempts were made to program gang members to appear in respective gang turf. From Grand Theft Auto 3 onwards, civilians reflect what city, district, time, and setting the game is in. For example, in a college area, college students are spawned, while a Chinatown may feature people of Chinese ethnicity. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas reused pedestrian elements from Grand Theft Auto Vice City, but instead uses influences and trends made popular during the 90s. Another noticeable trait is that certain pedestrians walk in different styles. Certain female pedestrians might have their cleavage moving when walking, while the homeless and elders walk limping, and the upper-class pedestrians will walk in a much more refined style in comparison to pedestrians of a lower class. In Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, male pedestrians will sometimes follow female pedestrians and either complement their appearance or flirt with her. Snow first appeared in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in the main story mission St. Mark's Bistro. In Grand Theft Auto 5, during the events of Prologue and Bury the Hatchet, the town of Ludendorff, North Yankton is covered in snow. Director mode in GTA 5 allows the weather to be set to Christmas snow, although this is only atmospheric and does not settle on the ground. In GTA Online, it was turned on in the whole of Los Santos and Blaine County on Christmas Day 2013 as part of the holiday gifts from Rockstar. It was removed a day later. Snow has reappeared in every subsequent iteration of the festive surprise since then. On April 1, 2020, snowfall returned to GTA Online for one day only, April Fools. During snow events like the festive surprise Christmas event, snow will form on anything dropped, including dropped parachutes and car parts. However, it will not form on car roofs. In GTA for internal files, there are some unused white textures for traffic lights and lampposts. Their file names have an S at the end. This means that, at some point in development, snow was intended to be featured in the game. GTA 3 is unique for being the only game in the series where the deuteragonist, tritagonist, and main antagonist are all females. This is the only game in the 3D universe to be set during the same year of its release. There was originally going to be a cheat to urinate on walls, as seen in some cheat code books, but it doesn't appear to work if the player attempts to use the cheat code. It was most likely scrapped. Grand Theft Auto 3 is the only game in the series where the pay-in spray and ammunition icons are not displayed on the radar during regular free roam. This is the only game in the 3D universe to include the ability to switch to a top-down camera view in third-person perspective. Grand Theft Auto 3 was the first Grand Theft Auto title to feature a first-person perspective, when looking around, aiming the M16 or the sniper rifle, and when driving. It could be said that Grand Theft Auto 3 has the third least amount of influences in the entire GTA series, only having two, which is the movie Goodfellas and the classic TV show The Sopranos, as most of the mafia theme in the game was influenced by both the show and the movie.
Hey man, Where the weed at?
My ass still hurts from that Indian food.
Get out my face, Trick.
Sometimes in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, and Grand Theft Auto 4, pedestrians talking to each other use dialogue that is completely off-key to the discussion. This is improved upon in Grand Theft Auto 5, where interacting pedestrians are more likely to have relevant dialogue with each other. Before the HD universe, pedestrian corpses would disappear after 2 to 3 minutes if they were not revived. In the HD universe, pedestrian bodies do not disappear until the player leaves the area where the bodies are located. If the player keeps killing several people within the area, bodies will then start to disappear. This is to prevent the system from overloading. Carjacking in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas will sometimes cause an NPC to say, "Now I'm going to have to steal another car," or say that he stole this car first. This implies that NPCs also steal random cars, either parked or driven by other NPCs, albeit off-screen. In Grand Theft Auto 4, if the protagonist attacks a female pedestrian, a male pedestrian will intervene and attack the player. However, in rare instances, a man will help the player to attack the woman. The player will get the same result even if they attack a prostitute. In Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, a rare pedestrian will spawn whose dialogue seems to suggest that he is aware that he is a character in a fake universe. His standalone comments reference the lie that is his world, and in conversation with other NPCs, he will mock their scripted and oblivious responses as being completely irrelevant to anything he might have to say. It is unclear which pedestrian he is, or where he is likely to spawn, but he has been spotted near the ocean docks in Los Santos. In Grand Theft Auto Vice City, if Tommy continues to beat down the street criminal when already killed, the police may ignore the player. In Grand Theft Auto 4, some male pedestrians have female voices that they use for screaming and when in pain. This is somewhat unusual, but most of them won't fight back if attacked. These pedestrian models usually have effeminate mannerisms and styles usually associated with stereotypical homosexuality, so it may be a joke on the part of the developers. There have been instances in Grand Theft Auto 4 where if there is an injured pedestrian laying on the ground that has been hurt to the point that they can't get up, another pedestrian may shoot them to death. This occurs when having a shootout between the protagonist and gang members outside of missions. In Grand Theft Auto 5, if any pedestrians are caught in the middle of a gunfight, they will drive recklessly trying to evade the situation. However, even after they have evaded the situation, the frightened pedestrians will continue to drive recklessly. This can also be experienced if the player shoots at a pedestrian's car near other pedestrians. In Grand Theft Auto 5, pedestrians hostile to the player will flee if the player has a wanted level and the police show up. Even large numbers of gang members will flee upon the arrival of a single police car. If they are hostile but the player is not wanted, they will attack the police instead of fleeing.